I am making a movie about this shopping center.
Okay.
And I'm interested in what you think. Do we need a square in a town, in a city?
Do we need a square in the city? Yeah, for sure. I think it's a very positive part of this development, and for sure we want to try and integrate the existing old town with the new shopping development. And if we can create a beautiful plaza here, which is useful in the summer, it's a very fantastic opportunity. So I think it's a very big piece of this scheme.
Yes, you think you can preserve the square, although...
I think we can preserve it, and I think we can make it better. And I think we can keep the landscaping, we keep the war memorials, and with the new development adjacent, new cafes and bars and restaurants, I think it could become much better than it is at the moment, for sure.
And I see that there was no this memorial that we have on the presentation.
No, we keep it. It's if you look carefully on the presentation, you'll see it. Really? So we didn't touch this. We left it. It's still in this same location, and of course, we have to respect things like the heritage and things like this. It makes the city, so of course we keep this in the location.
Yes, and do you see some problems that can unfold by building this park, this shopping park?
Yeah, of course. Whenever there's new development, there's always some problems. There's some big traffic problems, of course, but cities have to grow, cities have to evolve. So I think that this new development could be very interesting, and could bring some good things to Košice.
And what are these good things?
What are these good things? I think we have some new opportunity for the businesses of Košice. We have a new facilities for people, and I think you have to look at the economic profile and the economic health of the town. And of course, every town, it needs good business, it needs good industry, good housing, and good retailing, and restaurants is also part of this, because otherwise you have nowhere for the economy of the town to grow. So it's important that we have these things, and we have to be very sensitive to the environment and to the respect nature around the site, and we have to respect the culture and the heritage of the site, like the War Memorial, for example. So these things we can integrate into the new development, and every city grows and every city changes. So we hope with some good architecture and good environmental and sensitive response, we can create something here which is going to change the city, of course, but change it in a good way.
Okay, and you think that this is a good place for a shopping center in the center, like in the center of the town?
Yes, exactly. I think this is the best place, because I think the worst thing for the environment is to put the shopping centre on the outside of the town with 1,000 car parking spaces where you have no public communication with public transport and you have no pedestrian and no integration into the town. So for sure it's best to put these shopping centres in the city centres. And if you look at the mistakes that were made in Western Europe, for example, during the 1970s and 1980s, a lot of shopping centres were placed on the outside of town, and then the centre of the town becomes dead. And it's important that we bring these new facilities into the centre and reinforce the centre of the town. It's a very strong philosophy, not just of me and Benoy, but of many urban designers to reinvigorate the centres of town. It's the most important place. What is your view? Where do you see the shopping centre? Do you have a different view, or do you feel this is...
Now I am making this movie to find out
your
because
view.
I don't know exactly.
It's important. I mean, you can go into a lot of Western European cities 20 years ago, and of course all the shopping centres were built with a sea of car parking, very unsustainable, very unenvironmental. And the city centres are dying. And so at 5 o'clock, there's no shops, people leaving the offices. And now if you look at the way that certainly the Western European centres and city centres are developing, have lots of mixed use with residential, with office, with retail, with restaurants. And these are the things that bring the life and the vitality back into the centre. So for me, my philosophy is to bring this retail, back into the centre. And of course it helps, helps the economy and it helps the city as a whole. It's not just shopping. It's important for other things as well.
Yes, I'm only afraid of losing the open space.
Yes, I think that's for sure at the moment. It's an open space, but hey, it's a bus park at the moment, yes, and a car park, and it's not such a beautiful area. And I think if we condense the public square and create a very fantastic new plaza, I think that's perhaps more positive than just the car park with the buses and not so many beautiful things.
Yes, but can you imagine a square, just a square on this place where there is a parking lot?
These things don't work, do they? If you think of any great square, any great city, I don't know where you like to go, in Bratislava or to Prague or somewhere, not so far from home for you. And you go and look at these squares and they have activity and animation on the outside. They're not just open places, because if they are, they're just places for vandalism and for young kids to ride their scooters. It needs to be somewhere special. It needs to have some activity with bars and restaurants and cafes and people living, looking into the square. Or else, of course, it's going to die. And it's just an open space. No one can afford to put some nice finishes, some nice paving, and it just becomes just empty, derelict. And so here, we're very close to the city, and we can extend the city street into this new plaza, and then just away from the plaza we have the new shopping development. So I think it's pretty positive. I think it's in my heart as well as in my head. I think it's a very positive statement.
And are you not afraid that there will be traffic problems?
The traffic, I think, is an easy solution. I think on one side we have the tram. And again, in Bratislava, your capital city, the trams run through the square. It's not a big problem. I don't think it's appropriate to take the tram into a tunnel. I think it's fine to have it in this location.
I was thinking about cars.
And on the other side of the cars, we have to deal with those in a careful way to make sure that speed is controlled and make sure we can get in and out of all the junctions in a sensible way. But it's not a complicated site, I promise you. We do many, many more complicated sites than this. I'm not frightened of the problems that we have with this development.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope you get a good film.